Styx singer Lawrence Gowan says he doesn't mind being known as the new guy, even after all these years. I'm John Bowden on Rock History Music. Lawrence Gowan, or as a lot of fans who know his solo work would call him, just simply Gowan, has been with Styx 20 years this year. That's twice as long as his recorded works as a solo artist. He told Postmedia, "At this point in my life, I'd like to say I'm very happy for anything I do in my life. So if you want to refer me as the new guy, I accept that with great gratitude." In our vaults, we've got 2 interviews with Lawrence where he talks about a lot of his solo work, recording at Ringo Starr's studio. I think it was his first album where Ringo comes downstairs and says, "Hello, well, I'll let you get to it then," and goes back upstairs. We've got that on tape from our series with Steve Burgess. We just actually found it last week. We've had a lot of problems with these tapes because we have to bake them. They're old tapes, but they're coming. He has an incredible amount of respect when it comes to him looking up to the band Styx. Part of me knows that it's the legacy of the band that they are trying to uphold, the spirit of the band. That's a big part of it. But I saw the Rolling Stones a couple of years ago during a show, and it dawned on me very heavily that Ron Wood is such an integral part of that band. And yet he's the 3rd guitarist I've known in that band. I know Brian Jones' Rolling Stones and the Mick Taylor Stones and the Ron Wood Stones, and yet they all seem to seemingly be part of the same thing. I began to realize that for the most successful transitions in bands, that they have to get new members. The spirit of the band has to survive. He says his solo work has always had semblances of prog music. He likes to tip his hat to those types of bands, adding, "So when I came into Styx, I felt like we were definitely of the same tribe." And he addressed the pink elephant in the room. Kilroy was here, Mr. Roboto, which hasn't been performed live in 35 years. The band has just started playing it live again. And he was very honest about what he's heard. He wasn't there back then. We were there. I remember Kilroy was here. That theatrical stage show kind of alienated me and a lot of other fans. There was really a big divide between the main thrust of that album, Dennis DeYoung, who left in 1999, and the other 2 main singers, Tommy Shaw and James Young. Gowan says the scars that the original members had to suffer through on that tour ran very deep. They ran deep enough that they destroyed the band for the rest of the 80s. Although they never said anything disparaging about the music, they felt the whole Kilroy was here was for them a tough experience. But for me, the new guy, I was saying a lot of people asked me about that song. Why don't you play it? I like the characters. I like singing from the perspective of someone who has something to hide and about to reveal it to the audience. That's really the heart of quite a few of my songs. I find it's total fun to play that song. I remember when I first heard that interview with Steve Burgess many moons ago, not knowing anything about Gowan, thinking, what an interesting cat. I want to hang out with this guy. And not bothered by being called the new guy after all these years. That's class. I miss Dennis DeYoung. I've said this many times on this channel. But if I can't have Dennis DeYoung, I'll take Gowan. And yes, a lot of you have asked me, why don't I interview Dennis DeYoung? I've tried, and I'll continue to try, okay? Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music.